Hey guys! Welcome to the Turkish series Stars channel. Every twist, every whisper, every heart-tugging detail is in this video, so settle in. And before we start, hit subscribe and share this video so you don't miss a moment of what everyone is talking about. Thank you for being here. The celebrity buzz has been rattled once again, this time by the candid murmurs surrounding Barış Baktaş and his long-running relationship with Yağmur Yüksel. What set the rumor mill on fire? A private conversation that allegedly slipped out of the safe circle of trust. Barış, who rarely allows emotion to spill into the public square, is said to have opened up about the sheer weight of everything they have faced since the very first days of this love. And then came the line that shook fans and insiders alike, that there were forces intent on keeping him away from Yağmur, but that unfinished but has become the obsession of every feed and forum. Those who claim to have heard it firsthand say Barış's tone was the kind that only comes from sleepless nights. He supposedly described a relationship crowded by schedules, navigated through sets and flights, hemmed in by opinions that never stopped arriving. It wasn't just tabloids and cameras, he allegedly said. It was work contracts, call times at dawn, messages from well-meaning friends become cautious warnings. It was the sound of doors closing when all they wanted was quiet. He is said to have confided that pure feelings sometimes drown in noise. That love can be steady, and yet the world around it can shake enough to make you question what needs no explanation. Think of it, he reportedly mused, how strange it is to feel something so true and still have to convince yourself it can survive the echo of everyone else's voice. If you've followed Barış over the years, you know he guards his private life like a secret garden. That is why the whispers about his frustration have startled people who thought they knew his quiet ways. He has, according to talk from sets and agency corridors, rejected the accusations that swirled around him lately. He is said to draw a sharp line between rumor and reality, insisting that the easy narratives have never reflected the life they live. And then there's that other sentence, the one he supposedly offered to close friends, that more than a few tried to pull them apart. And some still try. Who exactly did he mean? That question has launched 100 theories. In gossip circles, there is talk that from the first moment the two were seen together, clusters of people decided the couple didn't fit their plans. Some call it industry politics. Others just call it jealousy dressed up as concern. Either way, it's a tale that grows taller with each retelling. And what about Yağmur? Her silence has been the loudest note in all this. She hasn't stepped into the storm. Not with interviews, not with cryptic posts, not even with a stray comment caught in a hallway. Those around her say she has rooted herself in her work and chosen not to invite the world into her living room. She slips onto set, does what she does best, and steps away without lingering. But silence, as we all know, carries its own kind of story. People close to the couple say there's no break, no farewell speech rehearsed in private. They insist the current swell of chatter has only tested them, not torn them. And fans, sensing a flicker of reassurance, have held tight to the fragment attributed to Barış, that despite everything, his resolve remains. That idea, call it hope, call it defiance, streaked across social platforms in minutes, turning a murmur into a crescendo. Suddenly, the oldest question in celebrity romance found fresh life: can love outlast what the world throws at it? While the questions pile up, so do the subplots. People who have known Barış across career highs and brutal lows whisper that these words were born out of old bruises. Imagine being at a peak and realizing that even the peak has shadows. That when you come off set, the set follows you home. That privacy, once a given, has become a negotiation. Those same voices say that yes, there were days when the noise pressed down too hard, and that strain did not spare the heart. And yet, they add, there was never a moment when he pictured letting go of Yağmur. As for her, friends and colleagues insist that the quiet isn't apathy. It's protection. Some say she has drifted inward, giving fewer pieces of herself to everyone else. But whenever Barış's name drifts into a room, she listens. A glance, a stillness, a shift in posture, that's what people who see her every day claim they notice. The conclusion those on the outside leap to is that the connection between them is not some fragile thing that can be snapped by rumor. It's the opposite, tensile, tempered by heat. There is another thread to this story, one that keeps returning. It claims that, in private, the two made a pact. To go on, but on their terms. That meant less spectacle and more quiet, fewer public appearances, more nights where they could speak without fear of someone pulling out a phone. They began leaning on the safe spaces of mutual friends' living rooms rather than crowded venues, choosing calm conversations over performances. And then there's the phrase that's being linked to her, softly, vaguely, without a single recording to lock it in place, that whatever stood in their way did not win. After rumors of Barış's intimate confessions hit the feeds, something else happened. Support poured in for Yağmur. People wrote to say she deserved peace, that she deserved joy, that they wanted to see her, and them, free from the theatrical tug-of-war. It's almost as if the story took on a life of its own, morphing into a question their admirers ask themselves as much as the couple: is the ending written yet, or are they still writing it? Every day brings a fresh morsel pretending to be a bombshell. Each new tidbit makes the whole affair feel like a maze whose walls keep shifting. But for those who trade in whispers, one obsession remains: will these two outlast the storm or feed it? Will the obstacles crumble, or will they stack higher and cast a longer shadow? No one will answer that today. All we have is the quiet that follows a public flare-up, and in that quiet, the sense that this story is not leaving the spotlight anytime soon. People who see Barış off camera talk about a man who has tightened his guard. He smiles when he has to, says little when pressed, and redirects when strangers inch too close. But if someone mentions Yağmur's name, they say you can read the shift in him. The calm takes on a different weight. He is said to have told a confidant something that now floats around the edges of this conversation: that everyone is talking, but almost no one understands what they are actually carrying. Meanwhile, Yağmur has kept her rhythm steady on set. She arrives, does the work, gives the scenes what they require. And yet, out of the frame, friends whisper that the quiet costs something. They say the constant churn of speculation has left her tired, in that deep, private way that is hard to see unless you know where to look. Whenever headlines try to pull her back into the eye of the storm, the old ache wakes. Still, she does not flinch in public. If anything, the public sees more composure, not less. And there is a theory now making the rounds that sounds less like gossip and more like strategy. The theory says the couple decided to remove oxygen from the fire. To step back from photo ops, to stop clarifying, to resist the bait. They are choosing invisibility over statement, silence over clapback. Some observers say that this retreat only feeds the idea of separation. Others argue it is the calm before a necessary reset, the quiet before a deliberate choice about how to be seen. In the center of the noise, one fragment sits heavy on everyone's tongues, that unfinished thought, the butt left hanging. People swear that whatever comes after that word will carry the weight of a decision. Perhaps it will be said by him. Perhaps she will give it voice. It doesn't matter who completes the sentence, what matters is that it might chart the path forward. Because this isn't simply a two-person romance to the people watching. This is a battle between a private life and a public appetite, one that tests whether anything tender can thrive under floodlights. As late-night conversations keep circling back to their names, the latest swell of talk has done nothing to settle the waves. Those close to the situation keep repeating that the challenges have always been their deadlines, cameras, strangers' judgments, and that the weight of those challenges has never been small. But nestled inside that reality is an insistence that the feeling, the intention, has been stronger. The words being pinned to Barış now echo that strength, a mantra that keeps resurfacing with slight variations, that there were barriers set in front of him, and he did not turn back. If you are asking whether that means the story is headed for the sweet ending fans crave, no one can promise it. Love is not a straight road in a quiet town. Love is a complex map with unmarked detours. Yet the very fact that neither has allowed the outside world to dictate the final page says something. Whether they move together in the light again or choose to keep their steps hidden, it appears the decision will be theirs. Perhaps the most revealing part of all this is how their circles describe the after-hours versions of them. Friends say that when the day is done and the makeup comes off, they reach for the smallest, most ordinary moments. A shared meal without glances from nearby tables. A walk taken down a street where no one expects to see them. Messages sent at odd hours that don't need to end with a statement. In these quiet rituals, people see not a break, but a holding on. And still, the speculation machine turns. One commentator claims to have overheard a conversation about work demands that felt like a negotiation with a tide. Another says someone advised Barış to draw a clearer line, and someone else advised Yağmur to draw one of her own, too. The common thread? The world loves to coach a love it doesn't have to live. So where does this leave us? With a living question. With two people trying to keep a corner of the world just for themselves. With a sentence that stops mid-sentence and invites everyone to listen for its end. With fans cheering for what they recognize in their own lives. The push and pull, the bruises that fade slower than you'd think, the decision to choose each other again and again in ways that might never be seen. What is clear is that the story is far from over. If anything, the latest turn has carved out a space for a different kind of attention. Less spectacle, more curiosity. Less demand, more patience. Perhaps the lesson hidden in all this is simple, that when love is real, the hardest part isn't the noise. The hardest part is carrying the weight of being misunderstood and refusing to let that define you. And so the question remains. Will the next time we see them together be a casual glimpse that silences everyone, or a pause that stretches a little longer? Will the obstacles that once seemed immovable start to crack, or will they grow taller and ask to be climbed again? For now, no one is offering a promise. But between the guarded answers and the long looks that people around them keep noticing, there is a shared resolve that reads louder than any headline. We'll keep watching with care, not for the sake of noise, but for the human story beneath it. If love endures here, it will be because two people decided to keep choosing it, even when the crowd wanted a show instead of the truth. That is the part of this tale that reaches beyond celebrity and feels personal. We've come to the end of today's video. If you want every update the moment it happens, make sure you subscribe and share so others can join the conversation. This is Turkish series Stars, and we'll be here when the next page turns.